So Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa plan to introduce plans for a new innovative currency. There have been talks of a new world currency coming our way. Benzinga reports the BRICS alliance is exploring the idea of an innovative currency and plans to share proposals at the upcoming summit in South Africa. BRICS is an acronym standing for the 5 leading emerging economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Deputy Chairman of Russia's parliament, Alexander Babakov, claims the plan will initially transition from using domestic currencies in transactions to introducing a circulating digital or alternative form of groundbreaking currency in the near future. He's hoping the summit, scheduled for August this year, will show how ready BRICS is to implement this initiative. During the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum event in New Delhi, India, Babakov stressed the importance of both nations working towards a new form of payment, saying that digital payments could be the most promising and viable. According to Cointelegraph, he feels the currency could benefit China and other BRICS members. Quote, its composition should be based on inducting new monetary ties established on a strategy that does not defend the US dollar or euro, but rather forms a new currency competent of benefiting our shared objectives, end quote. While it's tentatively set to be announced this year, this plan has been in motion for quite a while. Back in 2019, members of the bloc were discussing the creation of a new digital currency for a unified payment system. China is already ahead of the game with its central bank digital currency project, and Brazil is right behind them with crypto adoption and legalizing it as a payment method. Meanwhile, the United States continues its war on cryptocurrency, with finance regulators closing in on the embryonic industry. BRICS will likely become stronger as other nations such as Argentina, Iran, Indonesia, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt intend to become part of its economic bloc. Today's sponsor is BT Miners. BT Miners has been a longtime sponsor of the channel and a proven reliable source for ASIC miners. If you're looking to purchase ASIC hardware from Bitcoin to Dogecoin miners, they are available for purchase on bt-miners.com. BT Miners is a trusted source by both ASICminervalue.com and CryptoMiner.com. Follow the affiliate link in the description and tell them SOT sent you to support the channel. Now, we've been talking about this for quite some time, and there has been this concept globally of the de-dollarization, and that basically means getting off of the US dollar as the international reserve currency. And the reason the different nations, especially these that are involved within BRICS, want to do that is because they want to have basically a stronger economy versus the US. And as we move closer and closer to what I refer to as the digital revolution, cite sources from both Soft War, which I highly recommend you guys read, as well as The Sovereign Individual, which was released in the 90s. What you'll find, I think, is that we are headed towards essentially a splitting of paths here, and it will go from either where our current economic system is to a more centralized one or to a more decentralized one. If we're debating between central bank digital currencies within individual nations, that's still more centralized than we would see with something like Bitcoin. However, if we look at something like BRICS, where you have multiple nations working on some sort of digital currency, that's even more centralized than single individual nations. And it can put the power underneath basically a single regime. And that is even more dangerous. So we kind of have steps and levels going on here as we move into the digital financial revolution, and making sure that you are paying attention to this and speaking with your dollar, right, or lack of your dollar, is going to play a big part in this. And I think strategically, as we move forward, if you are, you know, a U.S. citizen, it's important to state that you support regulations that will build up cryptocurrency, things like Bitcoin, in the decentralized manner, and use that as a strategic economic play, as opposed to the way it's being approached now, which is trying to shut it down out of fear that it might replace the US dollar, because replacing the US dollar with Bitcoin would be a lot better than replacing the US dollar with a reserve currency that's run by basically the enemies, by and large, at least economic enemies, competitors, let's call them, overall, right? So this is kind of where Jason Lowery went with like the soft war, but to another degree of including power into that. And one of the things that gets misrepresented a lot when we talk about this, especially within the cryptocurrency spaces, is you'll have these people that are like pushing for proof of stake and so on. Proof of stake doesn't offer the same strategic position as proof of work. And that is because the point of proof of work is to make it basically economically disadvantaged to attack the network, right? And we talked about this before. So I wanted to bring this up because it's obvious that this is the path that we're going in, and it looks like the levels could get a lot worse than just say like a CBDC in China and a CBDC in the UK and a CBDC in the US and a CBDC in Russia. That's at least you have different nations working there and the people can work within that. You know, where we're headed now, as it appears, is that there will be a CBDC of, I don't know, the Soviet Union, just maybe a little fear mongering there, admittedly, and a CBDC of the freedom capitalists or whatever it is, right? Like at the end of the day, it's better to go more decentralized than less, right? So hopefully, what we'll see is people starting to opt out, right? And maybe people are already starting to do that. As you guys see the title, crypto investors are not paying taxes for 2022. There's probably more reasons to that, of course. But all in all, like, I think we are starting to see more people opt out of the US dollar for sure. And then opt out of traditional fiat currencies secondary to that, right? And it's quite clear that like China, Russia, all of that, BRICS in general is trying to opt out of the dollar. And it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here or more crypto content down here. Also, I'd like you to check out my locals page at sonofatech.locals.com, where you can become a member for free or choose to be a $5 a month supporter that unlocks additional content.